Good to see you. Hello, everyone online. Oh, there we go. Everyone won. That's good. Today we're going to be talking about what we do with our money and how we try to save it. And how that, well, anyway, we'll talk about that. I'm really glad to welcome you here this morning to the congregation here in Guelph. When we come together, it's a way of reaffirming our commitment, our covenant, and our desire to be with one another in support and connection. Hi, come on down. Come on down. Get everybody in a chair there. Oh, good job. Just enough. Okay.
Oh, that's all good.
Great. And this is a time for us to revisit our commitment and how much we care for one another and where we are at this moment on our journey of faith. And if you are here for the first time today, delighted to see you. I'm so glad you came. Come on down. And we invite you, again, if you're new to the congregation, today we're going to have a discussion. It's part of my sermon is actually all of us having a discussion. So feel free to speak up. Feel free to get involved. Feel free to tell us what you're thinking. Hi, y'all. Good to see you. Hi. Each time we gather too on our Sunday morning, we make sure that we remember that we are a part of a long line of people who have been in this area for thousands of years, and that we owe a debt of gratitude to the stewards who kept this place beautiful and livable and open. And so, in the case of Guelph here, it's the Attawandarok and the Haudenosaunee people, and there were others because people moved around. And now we live here, and we work here, and we have our faith community here. So our commitment is to live here in respectful relationship with everyone who's a part of this community and whose ancestors were here long before perhaps our ancestors were here, even if our ancestors were somewhere else. So we're going to think about that long history as we make decisions about what to do and how to live now and in the future. Shauna, I'm going to ask you if you would be kind enough to go up and light a chalice for it this morning. And Liam, if you'll put up our chalice lighting works, please. Oh, please, God, let's leave the Supreme Court in the U.S. for a while.
Sorry.
We have 4 fire starters in here. Is there? Let's hope one of them works.
The white one's usually the best. Yeah.
This is a test. Holding.
Ooh, yeah, fancy.
So let's say these words as Shauna tries out the white one. In this flame, we witness the power of transformation, awed again by the wonder of life. We're grateful to be vital to this living universe and inspiring community. Thank you. And Shauna, you can actually just stay there because we're going to sing that We Give Thanks next. Turn to number 1010 in your teal hymnal. And if you don't have, you want to pass one back, we can all share. I think I remember the words, so we can share.
No.
Oh, you share, okay.
Maybe I'll play it through once while people are finding the.
You need one back there? Got one? The ladies back there? You need one? No, I think they're live. Let's stand up today for this full air, full singing voices down into our bellies. We give thanks for this precious woke me up, or greeted me this morning over the breakfast table with a joke. Would you like to share your joke?
Okay, yeah, well, with this warm weather, I'm just so glad it's not snowing. Can you imagine shoveling snow in this heat?
So my day started with a laugh, and now you've had one too. We're gonna do time for all ages. You wanna ask the young ladies if they wanna come in?
We have quite a few today.
Oh, we have a number. Woo-hoo, good. I just saw the girls, I didn't see everybody else, but you dropped them off.
Victoria,
Yo,
can you bring the mic a bit
oh,
closer?
yes, of
Oh,
course.
that's my bad.
I just moved it so I wouldn't bonk it while I was singing and I forgot about it.
Should actually just turn it up.
Oh, okay.
A bit quiet. Oh, sorry. No worries.
Can I tell another joke while we're?
Of course you can.
Why do pirates have such a hard time learning the alphabet? Because they always get lost at sea.
Wow, that's funny.
I thought you were gonna say you get stuck in the R.
It could be either one. Hi, come on down.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of young people. Good job.
Quite the crew. Pardon.
Hi.
Sorry.
Come on down. Have a chair. Have a seat on the car. Hi. So, today I'm gonna ask you to think about playing a game with me. And we're gonna pretend that you're on a television game show, which you may or may not have ever seen in your life, but let me explain how it works. People go on television and they play games to win money. Believe it or not, they do that. Sometimes it's really cool. So today, we're gonna pretend that you have the chance to be on a game show like that, and you are faced with a choice. There's door number 1, and behind door number 1 is $1 million that you could get for yourself. $1 million. I think most of us, while we may be fine right now, life is good, we may be okay, but another $1 million in our back pocket would not hurt our feelings. $1 million. Door number 2, behind door number 2, number 1 is $1 million for you. Behind door number 2, your 10 closest friends would each get $1 million, but you wouldn't. Your 10 closest friends would have a chance to get $1 million, but you wouldn't get the money, and they wouldn't, and part of the rules is they can't give you money. So you can't say everybody gets 10 million and then give me 100,000 and then I'll be good. No, we're not gonna do that. All 10 neighbors become millionaires, but you don't. First one, you become a millionaire. Second one, your neighbors do, but not you, or your friends do, but not you. Which door do you think you would pick?
1.
You'd pick number 1, okay. Yeah.
I pick number 1, and then I spend that money in investing, and then I give that to all. We're all become millionaires.
Hot dog, that's a great answer. And you said you'd prefer to pick door number 2, okay, and what do you think, why did you decide door number 2?
Because I don't really need any money, and if I use it, it'll just hurt the environment however I use it.
So, great. Everybody gets a chance to have some money from you. Okay, that's lovely. Who else, adults, you can participate in this too. Door number 1, you pick door number 1.
Yeah.
Why do you want to pick door number 1?
Because I don't have that much money.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'd like to have money too. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Think of all the things you could, yeah.
I picked door number 3. I picked door number 3, and that would rob all my neighbors.
Let them get the money and then take it away from them.
Oh, no, then I'm fine, and I attend.
You're gonna okay, now door number 3 is, which was never an option, is now. Okay. So some people say, you know, well, I take door number 1 and I keep some of the money and I still spread some around to my neighbors, but it wouldn't be $1 million. And, you know, if you choose, you know, somebody once said, well, I choose door number 1 because, you know, you said my friends, but I don't really like all my neighbors, so I want the money. There's all kinds of reasons. And what's important about this game, and I'm sorry to tell you that I don't have a door 1 or a door 2 myself. Behind door number 1 would be $10. I couldn't even come up with the $10 for everybody behind door number 2. So the important part is thinking about why you would make the choice that you make. And hold on just a sec. I don't think there's a wrong choice. You could do either one, but what will lead your heart to decide one or the other is usually what you value, what's important to you, which might have the greatest impact on a greater number of people. And we all have these, we all learn as we go along from our families and our teachers and other people in our lives. We learn these things about what's the best way to live our lives in alignment with what we think is important, what speaks to our heart. Those are called our values or our ethics. Sometimes we depend on what we learn in our faith community, in our church, because we learn about taking care of other people and taking care of the planet. So we think certain things would allow us to do that. Some of us think about investing, even at that very young age. And some of us think, well, I don't have very much, so I need it. And those things happen. So what was your comment? You okay? Okay. So one of the things that's important about us being in this church congregation is that we encourage each other to ask the questions that are kind of hard sometimes. Why is always an interesting question. Why often leads us to have to really think and go, you know, why? Why would I do that? And some of the great teachers have said that when you sit down with someone and you have a conversation, you ask the question why 5 times. Well, why would you do that? And you say, well, I care about my neighbors. I want to give them a chance to have a good life. Well, why? Well, and it goes on and on. So they can really get down into that deep place of what's important to you. And it's important to me that you learn, we all learn, and keep being wondering. We wonder about the world, and we wonder what we do, and we ask the question, why? And we also ask the questions about, well, what are the other things I might do? We don't take the first answer, we keep looking. And that's what I hope you learn as a part of being part of this group. So thanks for coming in and joining us and playing along on my game. I do wish I had the doors, but I don't. That's why it's pretend. So let's sing to our kids and get them back into their class so they can enjoy their morning. Thank you. Are those tiger pants?
Yes, they are.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I like it. I want to remind you, during our services, we remind you about being a generous contributor to the work of the congregation, and it's time to think about that. So I'm going to ask you to remember to make your pledge payments or your donations today if you like. And I don't see the basket, but we'll figure it out. Oh, the carrot, that's what it is. As always, we are grateful for your support. We accept your gifts with that gratitude and appreciation. And while that's going around, let's sing. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. One more time. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. Thank you so much. Thanks, Sean. So, we're back. This morning I'm going to give you just a little bit of a time for some kind of checking in with yourself. Might feel like meditation to you, might feel like prayer, it might feel like just a quiet time to be with your soul for a moment. Feels to me like the world's around us so quickly with the things that we do, and sometimes it's just nice to have a moment to catch up with yourself. And I have some words from Nancy Wood that I hope will move you into that place of contemplation. So get comfortable in your chair, in your body, in your spirit. If it helps to close your eyes, that's fine. If it helps to just soften your gaze, that's fine too. The earth is all that lasts. The earth is what I speak to when I do not understand my life, nor why I am not heard. And the earth answers me with the same song that it sang for my fathers and my mothers when their tears covered up the sun. The earth sings a song of gladness, and the earth sings a song of praise. The earth rises up and laughs at me each time I forget how spring begins with winter and death begins with birth. The earth is all that lasts. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And another goes all the way down to your toes and out. And a third breath that moves into every cell of your body and connects you again and out. As a part two of being together, we also share our joys, our challenges, our sorrows, our concerns, our happiness, our triumphs, because that's the way we get to know one another and about our lives and how we let each other know that we care. If you'd like to share something that's happened to you in the last week or so this morning, this is the time to do that. And we'll go back and forth between the folks who are online and the folks who are here. And Marguerite, can I ask you to go up this morning and put stones in for people? I really would appreciate that. Is this water in there? Now, statistics people say that about a quarter of Canadians, including, that's close to 10 million people, including elders and children and households and individuals, about 25% of the population in Canada is now feeling the crunch of food insecurity. And I don't say that to cause us to get more depressed. I say that because it's an indicator to me that something's not right. Something is not lining up. In 2019, that figure was 17%. So in 5-ish years, it's gone up quite a bit. You've heard about rent and housing costs. We just had to renegotiate our mortgage and deal with a higher interest rate than we had when we got a great interest rate 5 years ago. Utilities, I think gas is more expensive. It goes up and down, of course, but it seems more expensive. There is some change in the rental market. Looks like some rents are coming down, but it still hasn't returned to an affordable level. And I heard the other day on the CBC, as you know, the minimum wage increased in October to $17.60 per hour. However, a CBC report said that if you wanted to live in Toronto, an individual would need to earn $28 an hour in order to be able to afford basic housing, food, transportation, and life necessities. There are actually very few Canadian communities where you could consider $17.60 a living wage. Back in the dark ages, think about your first job. My first job paid $2.35 an hour, and I was living large. I thought I was doing great. A recent survey of Canadians by the RBC, it revealed that 48% are finding that in the current economic environment, they can't maintain their standard of living. And 48%, and maybe the same 48% or another 48%, believe that they will never be able to get financially ahead. And this one killed me. The average non-mortgage debt for Canadians is about $22,000. That's credit cards. So all of us, on one level or another, I believe, are struggling at times to make that budget work and make ends meet. And that's not even extraordinary needs or wants. That's not vacations. You know, that's not needing to replace your car. You know, that isn't getting to go to the theater maybe once in a while or a concert or something that might be fun. That doesn't include other things that might happen, additional healthcare costs, because we've got great healthcare, but there's other things that cost you money. So, and I know this isn't all news to you. So I know that if we went around this morning and we shared our stories of how we're managing on our available resources, we'd all have examples of how we've had to reconsider our spending. And most of the time when we go into that kind of thinking, we have to go back to what are our values, what's really, really important to us. And then we have to work back from there to, and that means I buy this instead of that. We have to budget more carefully, change what it is we buy to find cheaper alternatives, and again, make some changes in our lifestyle. And I happen to be a very practical person. I really have feet on the ground and I do things in a very practical way. And I wish that there was some way that, I could predict when the date will be on which, on February 13th of 2026, all will be resolved. Food will go back to 2018 prices. I can't do that. I just wish that such a large percentage of us were not feeling the squeeze quite so deeply. I hope that each of us is thinking about what it is that we can ask our, people who represent us to be looking at. But it's hard to think about what could happen to lower inflation and the impact it has on our life. So as a practical person, I'm not always so optimistic that someone out there is going to fix it for me. That all of a sudden there will be, a piece of legislation that will all make it okay. I think we're going to have to cope with it for a while. And when I think about having to cope each of us having to learn to focus and refocus, I think about our friends and neighbors and our communities and the places where we show up with one another, and the need for us to start being really honest about what's going on in our lives, because it's affecting everyone. It's not just those people, it's every single one of us. And it is in our social networks where we're gonna come up with options for support and options for help and options for ways to potentially save money. I think we're going to have to learn more about bartering for services, checking in with each other. I can do this for you if you can do that for me. Because it's just getting too difficult to have everything we want on the ideal budget. And I don't think most of us got everything we wanted even when we had a more ideal budget than perhaps we have now. So I thought one of the things that we could do together in this community is share ideas and approaches that we found that helped us to do the work of considering our changes and the things that we need to do in order to save money, use our resources wisely, reduce waste, and help each other get through times like this. That is, I titled this Keeping My Sanity While Trying to Save Money. It's even harder to pay for the therapist now, so that's hard too. We got a dog. She's part of our therapy process. She costs a little more, but she's really good for that. Anyway, there may be other ways that you found to help you save money. And the only way I can think of really to keep my sanity is to be really honest about how my life is going, how our lives are going, where it's pinchy and where it's hard, to think about the resources that I have and, what I can do, be real honest about what I can and can't do, and then make sure that I'm in a community of people who know me well and know my life, and where we all know each other well. So I thought we could share some of those strategies today and talk about what is it that you've learned over the last few years, months at least. I've got some ideas that I started off with. Take one of those and pass them around so everyone can have one. It's 2 pages. There's 2 pages. There's 2 pages there. These are primarily centered around shopping for food. And I'm sure that all of us, if you've gone and done any kind of, research on the internet or you've talked to people, you've probably heard some of these ideas at least. But it's nice to be able to share in public. Oh, this is what I found in Guelph. This is what I found around my community as a way to save some money. Yes, Amanda.
I was gonna say, try to pay attention. My biggest thing is trying to become an anti-consumer. And I mean that because like fast fashion, we're sending so many clothes overseas just to be burned. When we can wear older things, I might not look so cool, but I'm rejecting all that brainwashing of buy.
Pass them on. So, not being so led around by the nose by the fashion industry and saying
Or any of those
anything,
industries,
those kind of things,
they're
but
all manipulating us.
so if you need a pen, I'm passing around a pen so you can, if you hear something that you think, oh, I could do that, that's helpful, I can do that, I'll do that.
So something that we try to do on a typical weekday is, like for example, instead of hitting Tim Hortons drive-thru every morning, I make coffee at home and I bring in a thermos bottle. So you're saving a few bucks there. My beautiful wife makes homemade lunches for me. She packs me a lunch every day. I get fruit and I get sandwiches and and vegetables. So instead of doing skip the dishes, which costs a fortune before you even get your food. So those are like going back to the old basics of homemade, bringing it from home.
Bring it from home.
Containers, I have plastic containers. We don't use the, throw away bags all the time. We try to reuse everything.
Thanks.
One thing we also do at home, and I would advise everyone to use this app if you don't so already. When you go grocery shopping,
We should pass this around so everybody can use it.
When we go grocery shopping, we always use the Flip app. And I price match everything. I go to certain stores that do price matching, Giant Tiger, No Frills, Fresh Co. And there are weeks we save around $35, $40 just by price matching. Also, I cook and I bake. We never buy anything ready-made. What else do I do for our family? Oh, I stretch as much as I can, especially in the winter. I call it our winter salad. Every Mondays I showcase a new soup, and we stretch that for the week or chili or whatever, right? And that has helped us save a lot of money and time because I'm not cooking every day, and certain foods always taste better the following day. So thank goodness we're not picky. We're just happy to be fed and happy to have food on the table.
Anybody online got a tip or idea of things that you've been doing that have helped to save some money? Anybody online who wants to tell us about a tip that you have for saving money? Everyone's shy this morning. There's a woman behind you who wants to get it.
I've rediscovered Bulk Barn. In my 20s, that was a spot to get copious amounts of junk food. But every Sunday is Sustainable Sunday, so if you take your own containers, you save 15%. And we eat a lot of dill pickles at our house, so I have a gazillion big Bix jars. And every time you go, they give you coupons for your next visit too. So if I spend $20 on a Sunday, I automatically get $5 off with a coupon, plus 15% with my own reusable containers. So I like that I'm having less wasted packaging and also saving some money.
Thanks for that. My name's Kim. I'm new to Guelph, so it's my first time coming. And I'm here with two women that I've been in a circle with for almost 25 years. Well, Nancy's here, so she's not been part of it for a while, but we used to do batch cooking together, where we would get together and I would bring the ingredients for a recipe, but like multiplied by 5 or 6, and we would cook together and then leave with a bunch of different meals to freeze and have, and it was a really great community building thing. It was a great way to connect, and I replicated that in Halifax, where we just moved from, at the local Anglican church. We were just starting to do some batch cooking, and it's sustainable and a great way to build community. So I really like the options that are focused on collective money saving and not putting it on individuals, because different people have different skill sets and capabilities, and when we do it in community, it's much more powerful and long lasting.
Nice.
Thank you. I miss those days actually. I was sitting here thinking we should start that again. I'm a tea drinker and I often like the fancy teas, but my friend was saying how she always keeps tea bags in her purse so that when she fancies something that she didn't bring, she didn't have time to make herself tea before she goes, she just needs the hot water. And then you only get charged for the cup, or if you have your own cup, they might charge you anyways for the 20 cents, whatever, but then I like that tea better than the Tim Hortons tea. Just thought she was brilliant.
Who else has got some good ideas? Oh.
Well, this doesn't apply for everybody here in the room, but seniors' days are really great. And once you're senior, you'll find out what stores have senior days on what days. Shoppers, for example, on Thursdays. And well, I don't like to buy at Value Village, but I sometimes do. And they have on Tuesday senior day, and then it's like, I don't know, 15 or 20% off. But the most important savings I find is when you have to get gas. In the morning, it's often $1.39. And if you go after 7, all of a sudden it's back to $1.19. So then you save already quite a bit. If you keep an eye open for that, gas is always cheaper in the evening, or pretty much always.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I know what we've done. We've substituted tofu for chicken. And then we buy one package of ground beef a week and use a lot of lentils and beans, that kind of thing. But in Guelph, we have a great organization called The Seed. They are at the Guelph Market, and they also are online. You can place your orders and go pick them up. And they have a sliding scale. So when you pay, like I was at the market yesterday and went to their booth, and the screen pops up and they say, what do you want to pay between this and this? And nobody sees it except you. And you just tap it, and that's what you pay. So, yeah, my daughter is the market director there, and she is so enthused about this project. It's really changing lives. They also make meals that are frozen. They cost $3.50 each for people who are not able to cook for themselves. However, it depends on volunteers, and they are looking for volunteers. They're in this neighborhood, volunteers to cook and show up at markets, that kind of thing. So if anybody's interested, come talk to me.
Well, making ends meat's nothing new to me. I've been doing all these things like for years, right? You know, so always look for deals. I guess my biggest tip is don't go there with a preconceived. Don't go shopping with a preconceived notion of what you're going to make. You go to the store and you see what's on sale, and that's what you're eating. It helps to know how to cook and how to prepare certain things. So, you know, there's plenty of stuff online and recipes so I guess that's a great help too. And yeah, my big one like lately is, well, I've been reducing coffee mostly to try to resolve a sleeping problem. But I found a way to make just one cup at a time, and I use, you know, the old tea cozies, and you can put a couple of teaspoons of ground coffee in there instead of making a pot. So then I make a cup, so my coffee's lasting me a lot longer. I guess that's it.
Oh, Amanda is back. That's her hand.
So I am very fortunate enough to have inherited my dad's car, but paying for it is pricey. And I started doing something with my brother 20 years ago. It wasn't for saving money, it was for the environment. And that was to take a look at the route that I was taking when I went out every day. And there are two ways for me to get to my house to Victoria and York. And I thought they were about the same, never cared, took whichever one I drove. My brother just, when he did it, he followed the kilometers, and it turns out one is half a kilometer longer, which isn't a big deal. But if you multiply that by 5 and then by every week, by the end of the year, you've saved 120 kilometers worth of driving on your car, and that can kind of subsidize the fun driving. And the other thing too is to go back to the old-fashioned way of, we don't go out to the store every day to get fresh groceries. We go once a week and wait till the end when you know, a lot like our parents did.
Gotta make do with what you've got. Yeah.
And that's what it means on the sheet about shop your pantry first.
Yeah.
Look at what Carrie's got his hand. Oh, there's a hand up online. Okay, let's hear from you.
Yeah, so Janet just wanted me to say, I used to get, or I've gotten pre-cooked meals from the Seed, because when I get sick, I like to have a store of food that I don't have to cook. And their dishes are really delicious. Some people say you have to add salt, but I think they eat way too much salt, because this is just, they're perfect, they're really good.
Did you get that to Carrie? Oh. But first, Astrid. Aspen, sorry. Aspen.
Oh, hi, yeah.
Hi.
Hi. I just put it in the chat there, Liam can see it, but my daughter told me about an app that exists. She's been using it. It's called Too Good to Go.
Oh, yeah.
And their focus, and they're apparently worldwide, but their focus is, they say, a social impact company on a mission to inspire and empower everyone to fight food waste together. That's their stated mission online. And so what they do in every city, they get different restaurants and bakeries and cafes and grocery stores to offer the things that they need to move out and that would typically get wasted. They will sell them typically about half price. And if you order it, you can go pick it up. And and my daughter uses it quite a bit in Hamilton, and every city has one. So I'm just now tapping into what it is about in Guelph. But so far I've found that Market Fresh participates, and With the Grain Bakery, Metro, there's lots of Tim Hortons and lots of pizza shops too. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of a really cool idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Too Good to Go Aspen. And there's also, the Loblaws have something called Flash Food, which is a freezer where, well, I don't know, sometimes it just brings it to regular price, but it's useful. You just have to put your app on, and like if you're checking out, you can check it. And, sometimes it's usually the stuff that like they put out and didn't sell, and then it's going to expire, so it's pretty good. My solution isn't necessarily food-based.
Other things are good too.
But one thing my father-in-law taught me was in retail is that taking up space costs you money, and I think that goes for the house as well. And I know we've tried to purge our house of things and found my wife bought an air compressor which sat there for years and gathered dust. But you do have times when you need to use it. It's just like you have a tile cutter, for example. How many times do you use a tile cutter? The one time you're going to do the backsplash. So one solution we found is there's the Guelph 2 library here in Guelph. You pay $70 a year, but everything's in stock. So we had to my son had to do some work with putting up a gazebo. We didn't have to buy impact drill. We had the impact drill for the week, and we didn't have to go out and spend $200 for an impact drill for one project. So we found that to be a good solution. And the other thing, money-wise...
Can you repeat what that is?
Oh, the Guelph 2 library? Yeah.
It's not just tools though, they have.
Where is it now?
Camping gear.
It's in Old Quebec Mall. Yeah, they have cooking stuff. No, it's in the Quebec Mall now.
It's back on?
Yeah, yeah.
They just moved their location, it's down further towards.
Yeah.
Lorna online has also said that if you volunteer at the tool library, you don't have to pay the fee.
What?
Yeah.
Your money saved!
But we are getting a lot of, well, for me, it's free entertainment is by
and
volunteering somewhere.
if you're doing big cooking, they have the big pots, all the things, right?
Sewing machines.
Yeah, if you got 15 lobsters, you don't have to buy a big pot. Who has 15 lobsters? But you know what I mean. And the other thing I found that's been helpful for us is to, just as a family, is I found giving up on the set expectations of what is supposed to be. So, I have 3 sons, and we've given up on the expectation that they're all going to have a single house and a picket fence. And my parents as well, they were kind of saddled with a mortgage because they came to Canada late in life and they took a mortgage. So we kind of moved in together, and that's kind of given up on preconceived ideas of everybody has their own house and everybody has the white picket fence and everybody has their own place. And it's not an easy thing because it's ingrained into us, but it has helped us quite a bit because like my dad, he doesn't see, but my mom wants her independence. So we found a way that we're together. We have like they're in the basement, but they have their own kitchen and stuff like that. But it took a bit of an ego thing to say, okay, you don't have to live on your own. We're in the same place. We have to give up certain things, you know. You don't have your full, you know, you're together, but yeah. So I think that's also part of it. In terms of money, is that we have to give up the societal norms that say this is what success means, and that's not easy. As you know, it's difficult. So yeah, that's basically how we approach it.
Lisa, Lisa. Oh.
Deja online has
Oh,
also
and Deja
said that.
has her hand up, okay.
Yeah, she just wanted to say that if anyone has any sourdough starter, she's looking for some.
She's looking for sourdough.
Carrie does. Great. Awesome. So I don't know how you two could get.
Yeah, we'll get
it.
Figure it out.
So one of our solutions is food-based, actually several. Brad tends to decompress from work by going to the different stores and looking for what's on sale and buying whatever's on sale and making a meal out of that. So that's been really, really helpful with our food budget. Also, we are going out so much less frequently. Like it is quite an occasion if we actually go out because, restaurants prices have skyrocketed. And then in terms of our puppies, our babies, we moved them from Highway 24 vet when that was bought out. And we went to Wingrove vet, which is near Erin. That's been bought out and prices have skyrocketed. So now we found a very small independent vet animal hospital in Kitchener where prices are about half of what Wingrove is charging. So, you know, it's a bit more of a drive, but you know, when a dental surgery is $650 rather than $1,500, then it makes a difference. Oh, we can give it to you later.
I'm not sure if this saved us money in the end. I think it cost us more money, but we did take a crack at growing some food this season. Crop yields were questionable. But what was really nice in this, and we got a farm share, a CSA box, which I think on balance was really affordably priced for the sheer volume of vegetables that we got every week. And in turn, when those first crops came out in the spring, we would trade, our neighbor has a chicken coop. So we would trade eggs for herbs, and we kind of got a little bit of a sharing economy going with our friends. And so his chickens, they had a big bumper crop of eggs in the spring. And so we kind of shared that around among our friends and our neighbors. I don't know if it was financially responsible, but it felt good, and it felt like a glimmer towards something. It's nice to step outside of the industrialized food system and see kind of what's possible if we could figure out how to scale up.
From my perspective, it built a network for you.
Yeah. It was community.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know I already spoke. This is more of a big meta thing that I think you touched on, but even if things cost the same, but we're stepping out of supporting the big corporations that are responsible, like I think something like 80% of food in Canada is sold by two companies, Sobeys and all of their very affiliates and Loblaws, and these families are making tons of money and are artificially inflating prices and then saying it's because of things like the carbon tax. And so building opposition to things that we need to protect our climate, which keeps food prices lower in the long term because we're losing crops because of extreme climate disasters, etc. So I feel like the more we can pull our money from those corporations that are actually feeding the inflation of food prices, the better, even if it's sort of like about the same or even cost slightly less, if we're able to do that, to in the long term put pressure on them. Because I think that's the thing, like it's super important for us to do all these individual things, but we also need to think about what are the systemic practices and institutions that are contributing to the rising cost, and like both do what we need to do to protect our families and ourselves, but also to be like doing that political organizing to make sure that we change the systems as well.
Thank you. Can you just bring that back for me? I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks. I'm going to really thank you for all of those great insights and ideas, and a couple of things I want to sum up with. We are living in a time of great change, and all of the ideas we talked about represent a change of another kind, but it's still a change. So to Carrie's point about managing expectations is very, very important. If you make a choice to move to a different way of eating or buying or sharing, all of that involves making a change, managing your expectations, and learning how to breathe through it and being patient, because all those things are going to take time. If you want to eat more lentils, hot dog, that's what, not hot dog, that's great.
Vegan dog.
Vegan dogs. Lentils are a wonderful food. It's best if you learn how to deal with them, though. They take longer to cook. You have to soak them. You have to do this. You have to pick the dirt out of them sometimes. It just depends on where you get them and stuff. So you have to learn to do things in a different way, and that could be a bit challenging at times or frustrating or whatever. Keep breathing and keep practicing. One of the greatest resources that we have that our ancestors did not have is that internet access, because you can find out how to cook, prepare, do just about anything if you look it up. So somebody is on there who will tell you what to do with couscous, even if you've never looked a couscous in the eyes before. So it's there. But managing your expectations, being patient, and finding ways to communicate with one another about this and that. If you make a big batch of chili and you know somebody in your neighborhood could use some, well, maybe you take them some. And the next time they make a big batch of soup, maybe they'll bring you some. There are creative ways to do things, certainly, and you will find them. And probably, as we talked about with the kids, when you start thinking about the changes that you would like to make, a good question to ask yourself is, why I'm doing this? Because anything that you are doing that's focused around your values is going to be a lot easier change to make than one where you just go, I don't know, I just randomly picked it off a list. So if it really speaks to you, it's going to be easier to make that change. And just like any change or any refocus of your life, there are going to be times when you go, well, this was stupid. To your point, we grow tomatoes in our backyard. I love tomatoes from the bush in the backyard. Is it cost effective? I don't really care. That's a value of mine. I like good tomatoes, so that's what we do. And my husband loves to do tomatoes, so mazel tov, we get to have fresh tomatoes. But financially, I'm not sure that's always the greatest, but I don't really care. And so asking those questions about why I'm doing this and getting really clear about your values and your goals and what it is that you're hoping to create for yourself, and make it meaningful for you. Doesn't matter if it's meaningful for anyone else. You're making choices about your money and your resources. And the last thing I will say about that is I forgot it because I'm old. That's crazy. Oh, I know what it was. And everybody needs a treat now and then. So you've changed and you've lived your values and you've put things through and you've refocused and you've had all your meals were lentils and couscous and stuff last week. If you feel like having fill in the blank because it's your favorite thing, have one. And then move on and back to your rules. But treat yourself now and then and be kind to yourself. Patient. And good luck on making taking these ideas in and thinking about which ones would work for you. Not every idea will work for you too. So just keep that in mind. Thank you so much for listening along. And Liam, if you could put up the slide for extinguishing our chalice, that would be great, Shauna. Thank you.
So it already extinguished itself, but I will pretend we're putting it out.
Time is up. We gathered to light this chalice. We part the flame lit within us, an inspired community. Thank you all.